And I would like to invite the next speaker, which I think is Dr. Eythan Levy from Tel Aviv University on new developments in the Scrypt software for Old Hebrew epigraphy. Dr. Levy has a background in theoretical computer science and an interest in archaeology, and the work is co-published with Dr. Frédéric Pluquet of the Haute École Louvain en Hainaut and the École Supérieure d'Informatique de Bruxelles.
Okay, so I'm very glad to be here. This is a super interesting conference. I'm very excited about it, and I'm glad to be here. So this is joint work with Dr. Frédéric Pluquet, who couldn't make it to the conference. So it's called New Developments in the Scrypt Software for Hebrew Epigraphy. So let's go straight to the point. So Scrypt is a software. It's a web application which is freely available online on scriptapp.com. And what is it? So it's first and foremost a lexical tool. It's a tool that lets you easily search for words in an inscription. You have to assume that you have, in this case, like an inscription which is very hard to read with a lot of missing characters, or with some characters looking very weird, or also even sometimes some problems for dividing between words because all the letters are written close to each other in a continuous script. And you want to identify lexemes. That's the goal. And you want to do it easily. You want to be able, let's say you don't know anything about programming, you don't know anything about mathematics. All you want to do is take your mouse, a bit like here, and you want to select some area on your inscription, and you want to have a dictionary match for all the possible words that could match this region. So something very simple. The main idea is to automate dictionary searches. Okay, so we want to automate them, but based on what? So this is the main question. So actually, we want to be able to encode for each grapheme, so for each letter, a potential set of readings. So for example, here, this is just a simple example, but I will show it to you live in 1 second. For this particular cell, I don't know if you can see the pointer. Yes, okay. So here, for example, this is pre-encoded. I say it's a Gimel or an Aleph, okay? And there will be many other possibilities. I will show it to you in a second. And once you do this, I go back. You want to select a region and have all the possible dictionary matches. Okay, so I will show you how it looks in practice, and after that we will come to the new development, because what I'm showing you here is already in the old version, and then I will show you the stuff that we just recently uploaded to the site. So this is scriptapp.com. Everybody can see the yes. So basically there are 4 pre-encoded inscriptions. But after that, I will show you how to upload your own inscription and work with it. So in the beginning, this was a project about Proto-Canaanite script. So these are 4 Proto-Canaanite inscriptions. So we go back in time. You know, we start with the C scrolls, then Shira goes into late Iron Age inscriptions, and here we are like even before that. So if I take, for example, the famous Khirbet Kayafa Nostrakan, one of the most famous Proto-Canaanite inscriptions. Okay, just a sec. Okay, here it is. So it looks like that. Maybe I will zoom a little bit. Okay, so you see there is already a pre-encoded division into cells. And basically, let me first click here, and afterwards I will explain why. If I click on a cell, I have here a pre-encoded identification of the grapheme. So this is a shin, this is a pei, and this is a tet. And if I select here, for those who know Hebrew, you know, you have the famous root shafat, okay? And he will give me the matches in the Brown Driver Briggs Hebrew dictionary, which we use because it's very standard and it's already in the public domain because it's an old dictionary. Now the idea is that if I don't agree with a certain letter, I can change it. I can say this is not pei, this is gimel. Sorry. I can save it. And now I will search basically for shagat. And he will tell me there is no such word, shagat, in biblical Hebrew. Okay, but in practical cases, it's more complicated because I don't know if you can really see them well, but these letters, maybe I can zoom to show you. You see, these letters are considered as very clear, at least for this inscription. But in other cases, like here, there is something that scholars were not sure what it is. Some scholars thought it's a gimel, others think it's an aleph. So you can encode more than one identification of the grapheme. Same thing for this one. They hesitate between a resh or a lamed. And here, most scholars thought there is nothing. But there is a minority view that believes that there might be traces of an additional letter here. So here I can encode this value, which is one or no letter. Okay. So now, what if I want to search for words based on one or no letter, then a gimel or an aleph, then a resh or a lamed? Of course, I can do all the combinations manually and search for them in the dictionary, but it will take me a long time, and I am very lazy, and I will never do it. So I will just write in my paper, I don't know what this is. But here you can just do that, and then you have all the matches. And let's say there is one match that you find that you think is probably the correct one, and you can save it, and it's saved here. Okay, so this is the basic idea. But now it's a bit more complicated because in such early inscriptions, it was like in Proto-Canaanite script, they didn't use matres lectionis yet. So they didn't use semi-vowels like yud and vav. For those who don't know Hebrew, like they didn't use the y consonant as I. They didn't use the W for O or U. They didn't use the H for the final vowel A. So basically, even if you search for the word as is in a biblical Hebrew dictionary, the spelling will not be the same. So you will miss a lot of words. So actually, what we do, we have an automatic insertion of matres lectionis. For example, here there is a part of the inscription where everybody, it's not very visible here, but anyway, just believe me, everybody agrees that there is a mem, lamed, and kaf, melech. This means king, right? So if I search for it, I'm going to show you here, mem, lamed, kaf. But in Proto-Canaanite, sorry, I am clicking too fast. So in Proto-Canaanite script, this could actually be the spelling not only of melech, but also of malka, the queen, or even melucha, kingship. For example, Professor Lipinski, with whom I studied, he believes that here it's written melucha, kingship. So now, if I select this, you see I have also melucha, okay, kingship. I have melech, maluch, molech, and etc. Malka, the queen, etc. So I can choose melucha and save it, for example. So this is the linguistic mode of the software. It's very simple. It's just to automate dictionary searches. And doing that kind of search by hand is not so easy. And my idea of all this began for me as an ad hoc tool. In the beginning, I wanted to try to decipher the Nostrakan, to propose a new decipherment. And I understood very fast that I need a tool. So with my friend Frederic, who is a specialist of web design, we did this. And my idea is that you always go back and forth between the image and the text. Okay, so for example, I think this is a gimel, and I do this, and I'm like, oh, no word found, so it should be maybe something else than gimel. So I go back to the graphical mode, and I can play with the brightness, I can play with the contrast, okay? I can even play with the RGB curve, and this helps a lot. And then I look at it better, I can even zoom, and say, oh no, this is not a gimel. I was so stupid, it's a pay. Okay, so I go back, I put a pay, sorry, I put a pay. Where is pay? Here. I save it. And then I'm like, oh, Shafat is great. I'm gonna save this one. Okay, so this is the basic idea. And you can save your work. Here you have a save button, you can save it. It will save it to a local file, which you can upload then later, here, load. You can upload your file and it will save also the graphical settings like the brightness, contrast, and also the words you found. Okay, this is the basic idea. Okay, it's a simple lexical tool, but I think it's very, very easy for that kind of inscriptions, and we will see in the case study in a minute why. I'm looking at the time. Okay, where were we? Okay, this is a short demo. So now just a little bit of technicalities, but not too much. It uses regular expressions. Those of you who have a background in computer science or mathematics or even theoretical linguistics maybe saw that everything we do is regular expression. I have a belief that epigraphy is all regular expressions. The regular expressions is a linguistic and also a mathematical formalism in the theory of languages for encoding words, or we call them strings, with stuff like A or B or A star, which means any number of A's. We also have the question mark, A or nothing, nothing being the epsilon, we call it the empty string. We can do a dot, which means one letter, or a dot followed by a question mark, one or no letter. So basically, this is how it works. For example, this regular expression, B followed by W or Y question mark, and then a D means a B followed by either nothing or a W or a yod. So it's the set of three possible words, BD or BWD or BYD. So this is, and searching for a regular expression in a dictionary is something that you have in all the libraries, I mean, in every programming language in the world. I mean, it's a very old algorithm, and it's very, very, very fast regular expression pattern matching. And actually, we also use regular expression for dealing with defective writing, that is for finding a matrix lectionis. Basically, we concatenate the regular expression in each cell, but between every two characters, we add a vav or a yod or nothing. That's the question mark. Between every two letters. And in the end, we also add the final mater lectionis hey, which encodes a or sometimes also o, more rarely in final position. So that's how we deal with this problem of defective orthography. Okay. So some case studies. So the case study, the first one was the Kayaf Nostrakan. So as I said, it's complicated and very, very different decipherments have been published. There is no clear separation between most of the words. In some cases, you have a dot or two dots or even three dots. But in most cases, all the letters are just written in continuous writing. So in order to test the tool, we wanted to check if it can help us to find names. There were two previous works that said that the Kayaf Nostrakan is probably a list of anthroponyms, a list of names, of personal names, because it's a genre that is very well attested in later Ostraka, like the Arad Ostraka that Shira talked about. So Millard in 2011 proposed some names, Elat Ash, Eved something, Shafat, and again Shafat, Gerd and Baal something, Nakmai, and Bodmilk. And for line 5, he didn't propose anything. But you see there are still a lot of missing names here and there, and nothing for line 5. Then Richel wrote a super interesting paper in 2015, where he only dealt with the first two lines, and he proposed names for the first two lines. So we were like, okay, can we do better? So actually with the tool, it only took, I don't know, a weekend to find names covering almost the whole inscription. That is what you have here. It was published in 2017. I will give the reference at the end. So basically, and we even were harder on ourselves than Millard and Richel, because I said, okay, this is a Nostrakan from the 10th century. So I'm gonna restrict myself to masculine names that are biblically attested in either in the period of the judges or of the United Monarchy. So really the early periods. I don't mean that the texts were written in that period, but I mean characters occurring in stories of David, Solomon, and Shaul, the judges. And it was quite easy to find a lot of names that were missed by previous authors. All those that are here in italics, I didn't put the vocalization, but it's in the paper. All those that are here in italics are names that were obviously missed, only because I think people didn't use the right tools. Okay, so I will not go into the details, but you can read them in the paper. Another case study. I will also not go into too much detail, but it's the second Proto-Canaanite inscription from Khirvet Kayafa, called the Ishbal inscription. So this one is very neat. Everybody agrees that it says here Ishbal ben Beda. So Beda is a name that was not attested before, but Ishbal is well known. And then there is another word here. So if you look at it, we have traces here, we have one trace over here, then this, and then this. And then we have a divider. So this is one word. And in the publication of this inscription, they said the first word seems to have 4 letters, kaf, bet, or pay. Sorry, kaf here, then bet or pay here, then resh or kuf here, and the last one being, sorry, the last one being taf. But this is a regular expression, right? It's because of the or, probably indicating the feminine ending. As this part is so damaged, we will not speculate here on any specific reconstruction. But actually, you can speculate. I mean, if you put it in Scrypt and it's already there, it's one of the pre-encoded inscriptions. You select this region without the T, the taf, which they believe is the feminine ending. Okay, and basically the matches I found, there are many matches, but a lot of them are based on the same root. That's why it seems like a lot of words, but basically there are mainly two roots which correspond to stuff that people proposed. Gershon Galil, after the inscription was published, he put this online. Kaporet or something like that, Ishbal, the expiation of Ishbal. So it would be an offering, okay, for a temple, for the god, and the offering was contained in the jar. And Lipinski proposed Kabirat, the big one, the great one, the big jar of Ishbal. So I think that in such a cases, when you have an inscription and you can say this is Bet or Pe Resh or Kuf, you should do a regular expression search in a dictionary and discuss the matches. At least discuss the roots that match and say yes or no. Can they correspond to the context? Of course, it could also be a word which is not attested in the dictionary. But the idea is, for the moment, there is only BDB, Brown Driver Bricks. But the idea is to add more dictionaries and also dictionaries of cognate Semitic languages to enrich the database. Finally, new features. Basically, what you can do now, which was not possible until recently, is to work with your own picture. In the beginning, it was only, I think, for the Kayafa Nostrakan. Then we added 3 more Proto-Canaanite inscriptions, and I hope to add more and more. But if we want this to be helpful to other people, they need to be able to work with their own inscriptions, right? So I'm going to show you how to do that. Do I still have time? Yes, I have some time. So basically, you can do this, load a new image. I'm going to go fast because I see that time passes. Okay, I have here an image of Nostrakan Arad 24 that we just published recently in Semitica with Shira and others. Arad 24, hop. So this is something you can do in your with your own images. Here it is. It's in a very bad state. But I'm just going to show you very fast what I can do with this. So I can go in this mode, cells editor. I add a cell. This is a cell. Let me put it in yellow because otherwise we're not going to see it. Okay. I'm going to do this for the last line because it's the one which is best visible. Okay. Okay, I can make it a bit smaller, and another cell. Oh, sorry. Hop, other cell for the resh. Maybe I'm going to do just 3 of them, or I don't know. Let's see. Hop, hop. Okay, etc. So this you can do. Then you go back to the linguistic mode and you encode that this is, sorry, I'm always doing right clicks instead of left clicks. Let me do this. 1 second, hop, Aleph, and I save it. I'm gonna now reduce the size a bit because otherwise I'm gonna move the other window, sorry. This, we all agreed that it's a resh, etc. This is a vav, and this is a kaf. Of course, you don't need to agree with me. This is just to show the example. And now I can begin to search for words, okay? You see, it's very easy. I can, of course, adjust a bit the image to see better, and then I'm gonna save it. It's a file called .script, so you don't even need to send me your file. I mean, the inscription stays on your computer. Okay, I'm gonna call it arad24 test.script. Okay, and then what you can do, if you want, now let me do just like a new tab. I go back to script. I open it just to let you see. Hop. I go down and I do load a previously saved script file. Where is it? Arad24 test. Okay, so it's here. As you see, everything is saved.
Okay.
See the readings, etc. Okay, so this is the basic idea. Oh, I forgot one important thing. When you're looking, this is also a new feature. You can say what kind of category of word you're looking for. You either only nouns, verbs, or you can adjectives, anthroponyms, etc. This is very useful.
Eythan, can you round up?
Yes. Okay, so this is the paper where it was published in Digital Scholarship in the Humanities, volume 32. And future works, we would like to go beyond lexemes, of course. We need to find syntagms, and this is, of course, something important. If you're thinking about, maybe we should involve machine learning here and learn a corpus. We would love to add more dictionaries if we can find electronic versions with the permissions to use them. We want to add more inscriptions. I love Canaanite inscriptions, and ideally, since there are not so many of them, I would love to have them all on this site. This can also be then like a teaching, a learning resource, and it could be applied to other languages and scripts as long as the script is alphabetic. This is in no way tied to Hebrew. I mean, you can use it for anything, even non-Semitic languages. That's it. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much for this interesting presentation and demonstration.
Thank you.
So there is room for questions, and the first one that dropped in is from Stephen. Why does the software work with custom dictionaries in varied language scripts? I mean, this is also what was addressed in the last few slides. So Stephen, maybe you can unmute your microphone.
Sure. Yeah, you did kind of address that. I was really asking kind of what the matching mechanism in the software did, because I have dictionaries in Sanskrit, in Mayan hieroglyphics, and many other different languages that are not only just alphabetic, but syllabolic and logographic. And the fact that you said regular expressions, it makes me believe that it would work with those.
So basically, I would not use this technique for Akkadian or for cuneiform Akkadian or for hieroglyphic Egyptian, because those are not alphabetic scripts. It could work for syllabic scripts, but if you have a mixture of characters which do not represent sound, you know, like determinatives, and characters that do represent sound, it's going to be much more complicated. So this is really concatenative linguistics. You know, you take the characters and you put them together and you search, you concatenate them and you search in the dictionary. Regarding the question on the dictionary, you cannot upload your own dictionary on the software. You would have to contact me, and we would have to do something together. But I don't think that now that it's online and it works, it shouldn't be too hard to make a version for another language. As long as I have the dictionary, I need the dictionary, and I need basically that's it. Actually,
Is this considered open source?
so it's not open source, but I do plan to make it open source soon. Actually, the code is on the GitLab. Is on GitLab. It's but just shared for the moment by me and Frederic. In the beginning, I didn't want to release the code, but now I do because I see that I think it will help this thing progress. You know, this is something we did a while ago, just the two of us, and we are very interested in collaborating with people to make this thing progress because. Yeah, I think it's a small tool. I love this idea of small tools that are easy to use, where you don't have to install a lot of things like very big packages, and I would love to have to see that people are really using it, you know. But up until recently, you couldn't upload your own inscriptions, so it was not so helpful for the community. So now we really want to open it to a lot of users.
There's another question from Caroline Totsche from Mainz. How does the app account for varying writing directions, especially in proto-Canaanite inscriptions?
Oh, very easily. I mean, you just select. If you select it from right to left, he will search right to left, and if you select left to right, he will search left to right. For example, here I'm opening the Kayafa one. The load is a bit slow for some reason. Oh, here it is. So here we will search for Shafat. And if I do it the other way around, he will search for Tafash. But oh, he did find something, Tafash. So it's, yeah.
Okay. So
great, thank you.
So Leonora Sonego has a question that also was on my mind. Do the cells have to be rectangular and separate because there are overlapping script types like modern Persian or traditional Arabic before the introduction of the typewriters? So
yes,
you have just a consecutive grid there, but
yes, so that's a good question. For the moment, if I add a cell. Wait, yeah, okay, yeah, here it is. Sorry, it was a bit slow, so we added them here. Basically, I can put them wherever I want, and the order is the order of inclusion. So I don't know which one I included first. I think it's this one. I'm gonna show you. Basically, if I say this is Aleph, and the second one is Bet. Hop. Normally it works even if they do not touch each other. So let's see. There, Av. Okay, Aleph Bet. So they don't necessarily need to touch each other. And if they overlap, I never tried. We can try. I will make them overlap a bit. And let's try. Hop. It also works, Av.
Is that sufficient, Leonor? Do you want to say something?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I have also a following question. That is that for training machine learning, the reading order, and so the sequence is really important. So how about numbering the boxes in the reading order so that, for instance, a neural network can be trained?
I'm not sure I understand the question. What do you mean? What about numbering them?
Because
an implementation detail? I don't get.
Yes, because you have now this. You have intrinsically you have the order of the characters there.
Yes.
But to use the Nostrakan here for training purposes, to training a neural network to recognize the characters. Yeah. So the boxes are already fantastic. This is what most algorithms will be very happy with. But the logical reading order. Is which is present there, but is it also present in a way that it could be used for training? Because you go from the first row to the second row and so on.
Yes.
Yeah, so there is this kind of hierarchy in the text ordering involved.
Yes. So basically here, I mean, in the software, the reading order is not encoded in the sense of left to right or right to left, but the order, how can I say this? The relative order between the cells is encoded. It means that the cells are in a list, to talk in computer science terms. And this list is one big string. It means that after the end of this one, it goes automatically to the beginning of the next line. So this I have, but this, and I don't think it should be any problem to, I mean, to number them. I just need to.
Yeah. So the XML formats for OCR training, they have provisions for that. So that might be interesting to look into this.
Certainly.
That increases the reusability. We love it if people start to label. So that's just other questions. I think that there is a question by Peter Stokes. Peter, do you want to ask it over the microphone by unmuting?
Yes, it was just a quick question. I could imagine in these sorts of inscriptions, you may need to merge or divide or delete cells.
Yes.
Is this something you've considered, and particularly once you started putting in letters?
Yes, yeah, this was a problem. So basically, if you want to delete a cell, you just, you go back to the cell editor, you take the cell and you throw it away and you see cell removed.
Mm-hmm. And then the transcription associated with that is...
Sorry?
The letters associated with that are removed as well, I guess.
Yes, yes, of course. And the other thing that is not yet here in this version, but which should appear soon, I hope, is to split a cell in two, to select the cell and split it into two cells. This is after a lot of trying and stuff. Finally, we found out this is the best way to insert something in the middle, because otherwise, the order of the cells is the order basically in which you added them. But what if you want to add something in the middle? Then the way to go is to split it.
And if you're not sure if it's one or two, can you manage that?
What? Excuse me?
If you're not sure if it's one or two characters.
Okay, so basically you can do this. In that case, I had some cases even in this where people did not agree. Some people thought that this one is two characters, for example. But there are two. Yeah. In that case, what I would do is I would make two cells. Okay, and in one of them I would put one or no letter. Okay, and in the next one I would put whatever letter it is, like one letter, let's say. Okay. So if you have one or no letter followed by one letter, it's one or two letters. So this is the way I wanted to keep it simple. Of course, I could have put just a blank input field where you can write your own regular expression, but then the number of users would decrease like a negative exponential. You know, the idea is that I don't want to see any regular expression. This scares people. I mean, this everybody understands, right? You just click on letters. You can say it's nothing, a divider, one letter, or many letters, or, you know, I wanted to keep it easy.
Okay. We also have a question by Hila Daivani. She can also unmute her. You can unmute your microphone and ask the question.
Thank you. Thank you for this presentation. I wanted to ask if it would work with Jewish script. I'm asking because
Which script you said?
Jewish.
Jewish script, yes, of course.
Yes, because I'm thinking about the score fragments.
Of course. So of course, I mean, the script is really not an issue here. It could work with any alphabetic script, and you can, since the Hebrew dictionary is already encoded, you can just you go and select an inscription and you upload your own image, and you can you need to of course divide it yourself into cells. Unfortunately, this is not automated. But yeah, you can already use it on Jewish script.
Thank you.
Stephen White raised his hand. Stephen, do you have a remark?
Well, after this one, I lost it. But yeah, I was. There are a lot of things for ordering and for labeling of these individuals that get to orthographics. And the idea of many different patterns for different languages of ordering, not just left to right, right to left. So I do believe that this would be entirely applicable across encodings. And what I mean by that is every cell has some encoding in some script. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a single letter or a single character.
Of course.
Would you agree?
Yeah, I totally agree. The only reason I limited cells to one character was for simplicity, but it's not totally true because here you have 0 or more letters. You see, I
Right.
added this
Okay,
button.
so
There is, yeah.
For a cell though, right? You could have like three letters per cell.
Not in the current version of the interface, but I could
Okay.
add a button here with a custom number of, you know, like where you can do plus and minus and say 1 letter, 2 letters, 3 letters. Yeah, the only thing that would have to be changed is a few lines of code. I mean, this could
Wonderful.
be easily done. Yes.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Moshe Diengard has a question. Does it read the Bustrophodon written lines? Moshe?
For the moment, so it reads only one lexeme at a time. So when you talk about Bustrophodon, you mean you already have, you're reconstructing a text that in the beginning it goes like this, and then afterwards it would go the other way around. For the moment, you can only decipher one lexeme at a time. So I don't know if it really, oh no, yeah, how can I say this? No, the answer, it will not work for words that are divided between 2 lines. For example, here, if I go beyond this line, automatically it will bring me, sorry, it's a bit slow, it will bring me here, you see? So I cannot decide to, I cannot decide to select this and then to go to the end of the line under it. So this should be an additional parameter if you want to do this. For the moment, we cannot.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Well, in view of time, I think in view of time, we might want to go to the general discussion if this is agreed.
Yes.
And so I would like to thank Eythan Levy for his very interesting presentation. I'm also happy to see the regular expressions coming back to life in a modern GUI. And so thank you very much. And also thanks the audience for the lively discussion. So can I open the floor for the general discussion? In case what I can do myself is to ask still one question. That's in the Humanis project with Dominique Stutzman, which was on Philippe le Bel, which is a totally different type of data. But there you have something that is quite similar to your vocalization issue. And so these are the contractions. So the contractions then, so a lot of letters are missed. And the question was, when training the handwriting recognizer, the question was, should we train the contractions literally or in full, or what should we do with it? Yeah, or maybe you have, for one word that is contracted or full, you have different labels, which would be the kind of lexical a clean approach. But surprisingly, if you take linguistic statistics with it, it turned out to be quite an easy problem for LSTM neural networks, for neural networks matching. Yeah, so just to say that, yeah, I like regular expressions, but yeah, there is more information there, and apparently these neural networks can also exploit the statistics, which would give an ordering to your lexical drop-down list.
No, it's very interesting. The problem is that the corpus of proto-Kennedite inscription is very small. It's a few dozens, and most of them, and this is the longest one existing. So most of them are like, I don't know, 10 letters. So I don't know if that would be enough. And most of them are not really deciphered because they're so short. We have a real problem of the size of the data.
Yes, but yeah, but the dictionaries could contain also linguistic statistics, right?
Yes, yeah. Indeed, interesting. Yeah, we should look into all this.
Okay. then I think, yeah, so there is space for discussion, but I can also see that people may be tired. It was a long afternoon. And so, yeah, so we shouldn't force a discussion that is not necessary. I would like to thank all three speakers for the very interesting presentations. It was very lively. It's going to be a long evening, and so I propose to close the session. And looking forward to see you at another occasion.
Thank you.
Thank you.